The Girl and the Werewolf. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Maria who lived in a small village nestled in the heart of the forest. Maria was known throughout the village for her beauty and kind heart, and many suitors vied for her hand in marriage. But Maria had eyes for only one, a mysterious man who lived deep in the woods. The man was a werewolf, feared and reviled by many in the village, but Maria saw beyond his monstrous exterior and fell deeply in love with him. She would often sneak out of her house at night to visit him in the woods, where they would talk for hours under the moonlight. One day, a group of hunters came to the village, claiming that they had been hired by a wealthy landowner to rid the forest of all its monsters. Maria knew that they were talking about the man she loved, and she begged them to spare him. But the hunters were ruthless, and they refused to listen to her pleas. They set out into the woods, determined to capture or kill every monster they came across. Maria knew that she had to act fast. She gathered all of her courage and set out into the woods, determined to warn her lover of the danger that was coming his way. As she ran through the forest, Maria heard the sound of gunfire in the distance. She knew that the hunters were getting closer, and she pushed herself harder, her heart racing with fear. Finally, she reached the clearing where her lover lived. He was waiting for her, his eyes glowing in the darkness. "Maria," he said softly, taking her into his arms. "What brings you here at this hour?" "The hunters are coming," Maria said breathlessly. "They're going to kill you. You have to leave, now." The werewolf looked at her sadly, his eyes filled with pain. "I cannot leave this place," he said. "This is my home, and I will not be driven from it by a group of men with guns." Maria pleaded with him, telling him how much she loved him and how she couldn't bear the thought of losing him, but the werewolf remained firm in his decision. "I appreciate your concern, Maria," he said, "but I am not afraid of death. I have lived a long and full life, and I am ready to meet my end." Maria was heartbroken, but she knew that she couldn't force the werewolf to leave if he didn't want to. She said goodbye to him and left the clearing, tears streaming down her face. As she made her way back to the village, Maria heard the sound of a gunshot in the distance. She knew that it was the hunters, and she feared the worst. When she returned to the village, Maria found that the hunters had indeed succeeded in killing the werewolf. His body lay in the town square, surrounded by a crowd of villagers who looked on in horror. Maria pushed her way through the crowd, her heart heavy with grief. She knelt down beside her lover's body and wept, her tears falling onto his fur. Suddenly, the werewolf's body began to glow, and Maria watched in amazement as he transformed back into a human. He opened his eyes and looked at her, his gaze filled with love and gratitude. "Thank you, Maria," he said, his voice weak. "You showed me that there is still kindness and love in this world, even in the darkest of times." And with those words, the werewolf closed his eyes and passed away, leaving Maria alone with her memories of the man she had loved with all her heart.